A comic book look cannot be held responsible for any physical or psychological injuries as a result of watching a comic book look. From Riverdale Studios, Sioux Falls, this is a comic book look.
Welcome to a Comic Book Look, your weekly comic book show. We talk about anything in the comic book industry. You want it, you got it. My name is Jon, @ Jon on Demand, aka Digital Don Juan, Digital Hugh Hefner, blah blah blah. Over here we got Tom, @ Tom Stu Devine, aka Divizzle. So divine. In the middle we have Skyler Bolks. And Skyler is on the couch here. We have a new intern. We're not going to give the name just yet. Benny, unfortunately, didn't work out for us. He kind of screwed up last week's a little bit, as you saw.
Yeah, right at the end.
Totally.
We gave Benny camera 3. Benny, camera 3 is your set.
Yeah.
And you can see the lights. It looked terrible.
Terrible.
It was off angle.
So, sorry.
Yeah, sorry about
Benny
that.
was fired, and, I mean, he disappeared for
also escorted
3
from
weeks.
the studio.
So,
I was sick of vomit and smelling like Smirnoff Ice in the back of my...
Yeah.
You know, in my backyard anyway. So.
To me, vomit be real man's vomit, right?
Yeah.
But realistically, let's get at least tell these people what we're talking about today, folks.
Yes. Issue 57. Issue 57.
Else we're losing. I mean, people are dropping off already. They're dropping like flies. Like, okay, these guys aren't even getting to the point.
You know what's happening this week.
Dropping off.
I've been looking for
Now that we've lost 50 viewers, in Tom's opinion,
yeah.
what is going wrong in the comic book universe?
Plenty is
plenty.
I think.
You know, we had a comment about last week's episode. You guys were struggling to stay positive, and I thought that was so funny.
I think we do.
Oh, God. I think we all do.
I think it's a weekly occurrence, though, that we talk shit about comics. So
it's true. But it's more fun for us to rant, and it's more fun for you to watch us rant.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And so, yeah, so we are, last week, as you guys saw, it was what is right with comics. We kept it positive. What is correct and awesome in the comic book industry. And this week we were talking about what is not right in comics. What is not good with the comic book industry. And like they said, I mean, there's plenty. How much time you got? Well, we try to keep it to 30 minutes, but we always go over. But this week we're going to try again to keep it to 30 minutes. And we'll see.
If anything, I'll edit it down to
30 minutes.
somewhere within the 40
30
range,
to 50.
who knows?
But anyway, okay, who wants to start it off? I mean, you know, you guys got any input? Okay. I want to say the number one thing that I feel that is wrong with comics. I mean, there's just one basic thing that is wrong with comics, and it is all about the idea of change. Nobody wants to change in the comic book industry. You want your characters to be the same. You want your books to continuously go. You want to see the same villains. Any kind of change is so scary to the comic book viewer and audience, and I just think that is so wrong. Digital comics, scary, we can't do that. It's going to shut down the comic shops. I mean, we're always afraid to move forward.
It's not going to be the same to look at the art.
And it's just... we have got to get over that. We have to be able to, try new things and go for the other things. And, I think that's why we talk so positively about, like, Image Comics, trying all these sorts of different books where, we get the same exact kind of books that we've been getting forever from Marvel and DC. And I think that is the biggest thing that I think is wrong with the comic book industry is our need to feel like everything has to always be right. It still has to be like our interpretation of the character, and we are so afraid to see other versions or see characters grow or die permanently or all sorts of crazy things like that. I mean,
to tag onto that, and you recycle so constantly that a lot of these characters, like Superman, for example, what power does he not have at this point? Yeah. Reaching back into his history, Superman can do basically anything. So, and it's recycled, it's the same kind of things, and it's just, maybe he has a little more power, maybe he has a little less power, but in the end, looking at the wide history that he has, what power does he not have? What can actually stop Superman?
Yeah, Kryptonite, he's kind of gotten over that.
Like,
and he's kind of gotten through that, so, like, the only thing left is, like, magic. Is, which is just silly. But it's true.
Gravity.
As you guys, hey, how are you guys liking this new camera we got? Brand new camera, we're trying it out. It's crazy, wide angle. So hopefully you guys like that. But yeah, that is what was right with the comic book industry, is us. And
but we went over that last week.
So what's wrong is we're gonna tell you what's wrong, and like as we're doing that, we're making right things with the comic book industry. Just want to let you think about that.
We're making the hard choice.
It's a vicious cycle.
So I kind of with the thing about change though, I think sometimes we jump to change a little bit too quickly, and it's not done correctly. And when
yeah,
I'm just going to kind of go into one of my contributions to our topic list tonight, which is the Nutless Cyclops. Okay. First of all, you guys know how I feel about that character. No. Okay. But the change that I'm talking about is these creators decided, let's put him and 4 other people in a Power Rangers-esque uniform setting with coordinating bird accessories. And bada bing, there's that change that we're wanting, and it was done horribly, in my opinion. Like, it's so gimmick. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes I think we do have change, but it's not done very good.
Yeah, sometimes like that, they're trying to like replicate like almost a drama on TV.
Right, exactly. Because I would ask, has that been done before? But I don't think I've ever hated, like when I turned a page, I almost vomited all over the comic while laughing. And I don't think I've ever had that reaction before.
Vomited while laughing.
Yeah, that happens, and it comes out my nose. It sucks.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure it come out a lot.
What John is talking about is Cyclops, from the leader of X-Men. He's a lead of the Phoenix Force 5 in the new Averse X event at Marvel. And, yeah, they changed the characters for a little mini-series that...
What if it's permanent?
That's not going to be.
What if Cyclops
and then also... what is also stupid about that is this isn't a new idea. I mean, Jean Grey is the Phoenix. I mean, they're just recycling the Phoenix idea again. Come up with something fucking new, and it's like impossible for Marvel and DC to like do that. But then I want to say another shitty thing about the comic book industry is when they do try, nobody supports it. Nobody fucking supports that shit.
Like the Phoenix 5.
Yeah, exactly. We're talking. Phoenix 5 is probably selling 60,000 issues.
Here we are ragging on the industry, but you know what, people? You want to see the same things over and over. That's all you're gonna see. And
then you're an easy audience.
Even the people that complain about it, they still only buy their Batman books every week, their Superman books every week.
They don't want to try anything new.
Exactly.
And that's why
vote image, vote change.
Like. The change that they try to portray, the change that they do, it's never wholeheartedly, and when they do, nobody supports it. So as an industry, everybody complains about they want more like us, but then, nobody's buying those books like like you guys were saying. So where's that medium? I mean, what's going to get people to stop picking up their 20th Avengers title and pick up an indie book or some different kind of book that's taking a risk?
I don't know if anything is going to stop them from picking up their 20th Avenger title, because obviously that's something they're invested in. I mean, John's going to get behind me on this, but they buy another book every week, You buy, maybe you're picking up a Batman, and some people, you're only picking up 2 or 3 books a week, and so, but you have to outperform that 3rd book, you have to knock it off. But how can you do that when it's a superhero that they're so invested in, Daredevil is just my 3rd favorite character, The Batman books are always good, this book's always good, and then I pick up Daredevil. And you got to try to outperform that, but, maybe you're trying to get these people to pick up an extra book.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, but it is a part of change. I mean, if you're buying Daredevil... and you've been complaining about Daredevil for 2 years, there's a problem there.
Yeah.
And that happens.
Stop buying the book.
When
it's just
you hear nonstop people complain about Spider-Man, they're buying Spider-Man every single week or month. And, that's
it's
a
like
problem.
a heroin addiction. I can't it's just so bad for me. But I keep doing it.
But I mean, I think I'm in the same boat in some areas. Like, I'm not, like, extremely enjoying Justice League Dark right now.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Zatanna is the main character in Justice League Dark. And, you know, I am being that guy, voting the wrong vote for this because I want to see Zatanna. Yeah. And I don't know. So maybe that is still the correct vote because I want to see Zatanna. I just don't want to see this book. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, how many times have you gone and watched a movie like American Pie where it's just like, well, it was funny once or twice, but I saw some boobs too.
Yeah.
You know? They're always sex sells. They're always going to lure you in with the sex.
Yeah. Well, that has nothing to do with Zatanna, so I don't know why you brought that up at all. She's
yeah.
strong-headed woman.
It's just because she's a great character.
Yeah, very well thought of character. Yeah.
That is exactly why I like her. Go fuck yourself.
Has nothing to do with the artist's rendition.
And anyway, I love Zatanna for other reasons that are absolutely platonic. And
long walks on the beach.
Anyway, next
candlelight dinners.
The next thing I want to bring up is for shitty things about the industry is how many titles there are. Really, do we need to have 10 X-Men titles? So you got Uncanny X-Force, Uncanny X-Men, X-Men Legacy, Wolverine,
X-Men First,
Wolverine and the X-Men,
Wolverine the first, or the X-Men, the first X-Men, whatever.
New Mutants, X-Factor, and we got the Mighty Avengers,
Avengers Academy,
the Dark Avengers,
the New
Avengers.
They have, not to mention all the solo stars from that: Captain America, Iron Man,
plus all the like mini-series they have. Plus you have Batman, Robin, Batman and Robin. You have Nightwing. You have Birds of Prey. You have Batwing. You have every single Batman title that you could ever imagine. That is wrong. I mean,
Skyler's reaction is how I feel when I look at the wall every week.
Batman the Dark Knight. I mean, there's just terrible, way too many books of that kind of shit, and so. That has got to. I mean, do you understand what I mean? What happens when a new reader goes into the comic rack and they say, "I love the Avengers," and then they go, "Oh,
I want to follow everything they do." Oh God, I'm gonna spend $40 this week
on Avengers titles.
Oh shit!
Not correct.
Another just terrible thing about that is, you know what? All those books, they almost always fall in line with each other. The stories.
They're trying to at least.
Either you know, sometimes it'll be it's just slightly removed, but it happened in this other. But they almost always, you know, it ties. Something comes back. You know, oh, he died, but you know, we brought him back with the power of writing. Who cares? You know.
Yes. Epic.
And all of this, everything. I just hate it about because I came into comic books a little bit later in my life, and. Looking at some of these superheroes that I really loved and I wanted to read up on, and it was just so daunting. It's like, if I want to figure out what's going on with Batman,
Wikipedia,
I have to read 15 events, like 400 titles, all these different spin-offs and all this stuff, because it all plays together into what's going on in Batman
and
now.
the holiday trades that they do.
Yes. Exactly.
Exactly. Quarter Owls comes on, you got to buy 8 other books because you're buying Batman. I mean, just like, it is a terrible thing.
And these events have their place, but they're way overdone. Holy shit.
And to the point that they're not, I mean, if there's always an event going on, it's not an event because it's always going on. And, you know, this is a lot of negativity. I got to bring you some good things. So we're going to talk about amazing graphic novels.
Gnarly graphic novels!
Hey guys, thanks for keeping with us here. Tom of a Comic Book Look. I'm coming with you with the gnarly graphic novels segment. This week I want to talk about a new graphic novel that has just came out, this hardcover. It's an original graphic novel, and it is very, very awesome. It's called Get Jiro, and it's about this crazy futuristic world that is run by restaurants, and we got just all-star cast on here. So I'm just going to start from the bottom. We got on letters, the legendary Todd Klein. Nobody does it better, and everybody already knows that. Colorists, Jose Villaruba and Dave Stewart. tag teaming two of the greatest around. Thank you. Art, Langdon Foss, and then this was written by Joel Rose and Anthony Bourdain. I'm sure you guys have heard of Anthony Bourdain. He's the guy from No Reservations, and he is a character in his own right. And I had no idea that he would be interested in writing comics at all, but I heard a good review on this, and I was like, oh, I better pick it up. Hardcover, original graphic novel. I ordered it off Amazon, Prime member, like always. And this sucker's $24.99, and I only had to pay $13 for it. So definitely worth it. So go to Amazon, get it cheaper. But anyway, the art is a really clean style, and we have this main character, Jiro, who is this amazing sushi chef who's really traditional and old school. And if you fuck up and you act like a stupid American, or you have no idea how the traditional way of eating sushi is, he will just kill you right on the spot. It starts off with a person ordering a California roll and then dipping their sushi right side down straight into their soy sauce, and as soon as they do the dip, he gets extremely pissed off and just cuts their head clean off. And then the other people that he's with are like, oh, look at that knife work that guy has, it's so good. And the cops are like, you just let it go because he's the greatest sushi chef around. And it's just this crazy odd world that is almost just comedic. But then you also have, running these two worlds are basically these two groups, these like hippie vegan sect, and then this main chef who's like a bad guy boss, mafia sort of chef. And they're always feuding, and both of them want Jiro to work for them. So it's a story about how they're trying to get Jiro to work for them and how he plays it all on themselves and then takes over. It's a bloody mess in a crazy dystopian-like future of based on food. You know, definitely poking fun at all the different kind of food culture, and it's definitely worth a read. So definitely check it out. If you do like, if you're offended by getting made fun of Americans for being fat and eating stupid food and being shitty, then probably shouldn't read this. But if you can take that with light of heart, like me, a fat man, then, you know, I'm sure you'll enjoy it. So I'll keep it real. Now let's bring you back to the negative.
Let's get negative again, even though that was like positively awesome.
All right. How about, what do you guys think about how amazing certain classic books have been in the past and how we look for that, and then how generic and predictable storylines are now?
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I'm not going to kick a dead horse here, but Alpha Flight's latest rise from the dead, if you will, they brought the series back and then killed it again. But, you know, compared to the original run, which I have pretty much every single issue from the 1980s, great stuff. But this new one, it was really predictable because all they're doing is they have Alpha Flight, and then they pull all these other villains to make up a team of opposites that leads to a conflict in the final issue. Like, I totally didn't see that coming. Yeah, in fact, I don't know if too much
the good guys start to fall behind a little bit.
Yeah.
It looks like they're going to lose, but they come back at the end.
Totally. And, you know, the only thing that... Yeah, I don't know.
I didn't read any Alpha Flight.
Yeah, so you got the gist of it too. Saved a little bit of money, didn't you?
Yeah, a lot.
But that, I mean, that's just superhero comics in general. That's John's personal experience with Alpha Flight. I mean, but all superhero comics are so predictable. I mean, we know what's going to happen. We know who's going to win. So if something does come around that's really done well, it is something special, and I think it's something to be talked about. But, you know, when you have 52 new titles from DC and you have, like, basically one good one, you know, it's like, that sucks, you know. You know, it's, I wish that wasn't the case.
Yeah, and you know what, another terrible thing? You know how much more that one good title sells than the others? Probably a couple hundred titles.
Yeah, exactly, not that much. Not that much. And also, I mean, they have a couple. I don't want to discredit. I mean, but I'm just saying, you know, you guys get what I'm saying. And, like, having, being recycled, how about we're going to do the new DC 52, or we're going to do Marvel Now, we're going to change everything, everything's going to be better, but then you have the exact same artist, the exact same creators, exact same writers. You're just changing the characters they're writing. I mean, nothing is gonna change. I mean, it's like, you know, nobody gives them a chance unless they've had a good series at Image before they would even give somebody a chance. And so, yeah, I just really do hope that we get to see the comic book industry really move to jump leaps and bounds in the digital world with indie comics, with creator rights. One major point that I always like to think about is, like, when you talk to somebody who reads novels, they read prose only, you know, that's what they're into, they pay attention to the new books that are out, you know, they're getting the top-selling books, they read books like we read comic books. Well, that person cannot believe that the licensed titles, that's all the superhero titles, that's any licensed character that is owned by a separate company, is the majority of the you know, share when it comes to what is being made in comic books. Because if you look at prose, you know, like the licensed books that are prose books, those are like the bottom of the barrel books. I mean, like your Halo books, your Forgotten Realms books, your books that I'm not saying I don't like. I mean, I like your Star Wars books. Those are not going to be made by the, you know, considered, you know, these giant books that sell tons. You know, the ones that are selling ton are these people putting out their own ideas, their own storylines, their new characters, their new everything to them, and they own them all, and that's what's selling a lot, and that's what we need to take from the Japanese comics market and from the American, you know, just book market, and try to transition that into how comics are sold and marketed.
And on novels, on prose books, when something really catches on, that's really huge, we don't see maybe more than 5 books on that specific storyline, you know.
Oh yeah.
And whereas, you know, comics, how many exactly? Superman, Batman, Daredevil, Spider-Man.
Yeah, but those are totally, you know,
how many titles have we seen of those, you know? And even when something really gets going, something really gets people after it, the Dexter books really had people going. They even made a TV show after it.
Yeah.
But I think there was only still 6 or 7 books.
Yeah,
and that's still a couple, like 7,000 or 8,000 pages total. But
yeah, but I mean, it
came to an end at a point, you know.
And there are ones that keep going, like Dresden, and I mean, there are other. There's these books that, you know, sell well.
They always taper off, and they never.
And they still stay true. And I'm not saying that you can't do that in comics. You can continuously go in comics if you're telling your own story, not an editor's story or not a retake of what somebody else has done.
Yeah.
Know what I'm saying, John?
I hear you.
You hear me?
I hear you.
All right. Well, what else? What else you got to complain about over there, big boy?
Big boy. You know, the one thing that I my pet peeve is with kind of Marvel. It's we talked about, you know, age appropriate books last week. Yeah, we did.
Yep.
Oh, I won't rehash that one. I gotta keep my composure. So unprofessional. But
straighten it out, John. God damn it!
God, can't edit that out. I kind of my wow. You probably will. It'd probably loop it or something. Anyways,
maybe.
I kind of refer to this point as the absence of real life from the big two. And, you know, kind of what I'm talking about is, you know, I think, you know, we kind of notice, you know, things like Wolverine not smoking anymore, but he has a toothpick in his mouth. And the absence of adult beverages and all that stuff. I mean, honestly, like...
replacing guns with walkie-talkies.
Exactly.
E.T.
But you know what I mean, though. It's just like...
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of pop music kind of a comic, it seems. And Marvel, it's starting to get back there. Like we said, you know, we got the Max series, and then some of the other series are starting to get more with it. But all in all, it's still kind of a, I don't know. Some people would say, oh, it's not needed, you know, to tell the story. Trust me, with some stories, it's needed. You need to throw the salt on it to preserve it, maybe. Hey guys, John from a comic book club.
You've got mail.
Wow. Ever since we installed this new system of props flying oh, it's a Vader head. I like Vader. You know, we installed this new system, Skyler's voice program into it. The AI seems to be just about as smart as he is. There's a time. That's so mean. I'm so sorry to both Skyler and AI Skyler. So anyways, you guys, per tradition, when I get mail, I like to talk about it. And this one, I got some thunder from down under on this. When I open my mailbox, it says Australia Post on it. So I have stamps on here with the traditional red double-decker bus with the Australian bag, my address, and then, of course, a signature. And I got a variant cover Killaroo Gang War from Darren Close, who I interviewed on my very first episode of A Comic Book Look After Hours, and it's signed. This is number 22 of 30, so obviously I hopped on the awesome bus right at the right time. How sweet is that? But, thank you. I cannot stress that enough. And after I'm like, oh my god, I got the book, and it's signed. It's so cool, right? I turned the envelope over, and I actually got this a couple days ago, and at first I thought, oh, this is interesting, but it hit me. I'm on the envelope. Me. And it's this badass version of me that says Keep It Comics beside Killaroo. Like, he drew it. Sick. And it says, Darren Close, thanks, John. Right there. So
jealous.
Isn't that awesome?
Holy shit.
Even Skyler's AI says so. But, seriously, like, isn't that awesome? Because I thought it was a character, maybe that, like, part of the biker gang. And then I looked at the shades of, like, hey. And I saw the beard, I'm like, hey, that's totally me, So, jackpot. Darren Close, you're the man with a plan. I know you like women. God damn it, I want to give you a hug right now. This is so fabulous, dude. Love it, love it, love it. When I come to Australia, I'll buy you a beer. But this, I totally appreciate it. You rock. So thank you so much. And I'm going to hang both of these up on the wall because this is super cool to me. Hats off to you, Australia. Represent your creators because they're kick-ass.
Dude, I am so jealous of you, John. So fucking jealous, dude. God, what a cool interview. First of all, that interview fucking rocked your socks off. You got to talk to a dude in Australia. And then he sends you a bomb-ass book, signed, limited variant edition, and an original sketch on the envelope. You're so cool.
Dude, that's how we do it at a comic book look.
That's right, man. That is so cool. So thanks, Darren, man. You were the pimp shit.
The plan.
All right, well, to close down here pretty soon, let's kind of wrap up all the shitty things in comics, huh? Let's go an overview of what we think is just absolutely wrong with the comic book industry.
Yeah.
This is what I'm going to go with. No change. Ordinary fanboys that don't ask for one thing and don't really want it.
Ordinary.
People voting with their dollars in the incorrect way. Recycled ideas, rehashed creators, rehashed everything. That is what's wrong with the industry. How about you, Sky? What do you think?
Video games. There has not been a good comic book video game since the Ultimate Avengers.
I thought Batman Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, what about Ultimate
For
Alliance?
Xbox 360.
The Batman.
Ultimate Alliance, there we go.
Yeah,
Ultimate Alliance.
It's
Xbox
like Mario
360.
Kart for nerds.
I got it on the 2-part with the Forza Motorsports. Oh, I played through that game like 5 or 6 times. Just great. Because you have to have all your different combinations of heroes. And, oh yeah.
Boom.
But we're talking about shitty things.
Yeah, let's talk about the bad
So, all of those characters that I loved playing the game about, reading any of their books. Terrible. Continuous, just rerunning of all the stories. Terrible. Hate it. And you know what? X-Men, all of your titles, and
No.
the Amazing Spider-Man movie
Yeah.
can go have a little love child that we will all wish was aborted. John.
But the X-Men, I love some of them. I mean, they're not perfect, but, everyone has flaws.
Well, obviously there's 1 or 2 good ones when there's 50 titles.
And obviously,
The
it
diamonds
does
are
have
rough.
to piss off some fans when I collected that from the time I've collected comic books, and I dropped Uncanny X-Men. Okay, so there's problems. Anyway, John, what's wrong with comics?
It's the main thing I have a problem with is, surprisingly, you hate continuity. I kind of wish we had more of it, but I hope that it was... No, shut up. I hope that it's done in a way where it makes it relevant, where we're not trying to put the Smurfs into Transformers, or what is it, that Infestation event that went down with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, G.I. Joe, and whatever. Like, that doesn't make sense to me, you know? And anyone that knows those shows from growing up does not compute at all. You know, stuff
Agreed.
like that. Like, it's a cash cow. Let's take all the cash cows out of the field and put them out of their misery. And let's get back to the brass tacks of the comic industry, which is ingenuity and rocking with some, you know, some great characters and getting down, you know, and having fun. Yeah. I love the books where the writing and the artists are awesome. But we see that so rarely these days. It's always, I like the book because it was written well, but the art sucked. Or the other way around. The artwork's cool to look at, but the writing's iffy.
Agreed.
You know? And I'm not trying to knock any creators specifically. Everyone has their good and their bad days in terms of writing books, whatever. So...
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I agree. There's a fucking bird has gotten trapped in my basement. Oh my god! Watch out, John! Right there.
Oh.
No.
Well,
What?
What?
The nearby conservatory has been having some problems with escaped birds.
Jesus Christ. Well,
Did
anyway.
I just shit on your TV? Yeah.
So we caught that bird.
Yeah.
So
Christ
if
is
you
fine.
guys want to complain about the birds singing in the background, comicbooklook@gmail.com.
Yeah, get at us, man. Let us know
Facebook,
what you think.
YouTube,
If
Comic
you want
Book
more
Look.
birds, let us know. We can do that.
We could even put birds that are not native to our area in to throw you off.
Okay.
So ridiculous.
Close it down, John.
Alright, well, you guys, all negativity aside, well, actually, no. There's a lot of things that suck in the industry. I'm not going to be honest with you. I mean, we have some kick-ass moments, meet some kick-ass people. It's what you make of it, but truly, you know, there's a lot of things that, like, there's not a big enough Band-Aid to put on the situation right now. I hope that things turn around, but, you know, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But we'll keep an eye on things. You guys know how we do it here. Dedicated journalists drink our beer responsibly. Well, responsibly, awesomely, obviously. So anyways, keep it comics.